Good morning, students. So let's today learn about the topic quick sort. Okay. So here this is also a sorting technique. Okay. So quickly we are going to get the position of an element by giving the position of an element for each element. So complete list will be sorted. Okay. So before I get into the example, so I want to tell you some day-to-day example here. So maybe in our school age, so the teachers may made us to sit height-wise in the class. Okay, so whoever, if they ask you to stand in the line, so the tallest person will be at the back and the smallest one will be at the front. Maybe for either march past or for sitting arrangement in the class or whatever. Okay, so among the group, if a particular person who is very tall, if he is moving at the last, so that means his position is fixed. And whoever is the shortest, if he stands here, so that position is fixed. Okay, so this is how we give the position for each element in the example also. Say suppose we have something like this. So say some 10, 20, 40, 5, 7, 90. Okay, in this list, which element do you think it's in its position? So 90 is in its position. So it's got its position. Okay, since it is maximum, so it got its position. Say if we have the elements like in this, so this got its position. Okay, say suppose in this 10 got its position. So all the values which are less towards its left side are lesser, and all the values which are to the right side are greater. So it got its position in the list. So that's how we are going to find the position of an element quickly. And by giving each element positions in the list, so we can sort. So this is the basic, the quick sort. So we are going to give the position for every element. Okay. So here if you see this one, so this is the list given, and using quick sort we need to sort this. So in order to sort, what exactly we are doing? So here 9 elements are given, but I am taking the 10th element as infinity. 9 elements are given, I am taking the 10th element as the infinity. Infinity means it's the maximum value in mathematical terms, but computers won't understand infinity. We take some maximum value for that. Maximum value for that. Okay. So here, why we are taking this infinity? In order to say that some boundary value. So the last value in the list. So in order to give the maximum value in the list or end of the list, I am giving some infinity value. Okay. So by considering the values like this, so the index which is at low, so that I am going to take as I. The low index for an array we are going to take as I. The high index for an array we are going to take as J. Okay. So we follow these steps. So first step, we increment I and J until we find a value less than J. So once these two are satisfied, so what we have to do? We need to swap. A of I and A of J. And all these conditions when we do, when I is less than or equal to J. When I is less than or equal to J, these three steps we are going to do. Okay, let's see this. Why we are doing this? Say, initial point, what we have to take? Something we call it as pivot. So, pivot is equal to A of I or L, whatever we can say. Okay. So, what is our pivot here now? 10. Our pivot is 10. Okay. At ith index, whichever is there first. So, that is the pivot. So, with the pivot, we are going to compare the elements. So, here I is 1. So, I will be incremented until you find a value which is greater than 10. Okay. So, I will be incremented. So, we found a value. Increment I until we find a value greater than pivot. Here also pivot. Okay, greater than pivot. So, 16 is greater than. And decrement j. We need to decrement j until we find a value which is less than pivot. So, is this less than pivot? 5 is less than pivot? Yes. So, both the conditions are satisfied. And is I less than or equal to j? I is 2 and j is 9. 2 is less than or equal to 9? Yes, true. So, now what we do? We need to perform the swap. What exactly we are trying to do here is, so we are finding a greater values here and here we are finding the lesser values. And we swap them so that what's happening? Lesser values will come front and greater values will go back. Okay, so that is the logic here. So as I is incremented until we find a value greater than pivot. So 16 is greater than pivot. So I will be here. And we decrement j until we find a value less than pivot. So is 5 less than pivot? Yes. And also see that the condition I is less than or equal to j. 2 is less than or equal to 9. So this is true. So what we need to do if the first two conditions are satisfied, we need to swap this A of I and A of j. So here, so what you get? This 5 you will get. And here, whatever was the value of here, so that will move here. So okay, you can clearly make out that. So smaller values are moved towards at the starting of the list and greater values are moved towards the end of the list. So repeat the procedure. So again, increment I until you find a value greater than I. So is 8 greater than 10? No. So is 12 greater than 10? Yes. Okay. So similarly, j also you decrement j until you find a value less than 10. So this is lesser. Okay. And is the condition I less than or equal to j? 4 less than or equal to 8? Yes, it is true. So you need to swap a of I and a of j. So 9 comes here and 12 will go. Okay. So similarly, you continue here. So is 15 greater than 10? Yes. Okay, and decrement j until you find a value less than pivot. So is this lesser? Yes. Okay. So now is I less than or equal to j? 5 less than or equal to 7? Yes, true. So swap these values. So 3 will come here and 15 will go here. Okay. So increment I until you find a value greater than pivot. So is 6 greater than pivot? No. 15 greater than pivot? Yes. So this will become I. So now decrement j until you find a value greater than less than pivot. So I will be incremented until we find a value greater than pivot and j will be decremented until we find a value less than pivot. Yes. So these two conditions are true. Is I less than or equal to j now? So I is 7 and j is 6. So this condition is not satisfying. So the other case, so if this condition is true, you can do these steps, or else if this is not true, So what we have to do? We need to swap pivot A of L and A of J, and you have to return J value. Okay. So what we have to do? Here we give 10 and this becomes 6. So return J means, so that is nothing but index 10. So in this case what happened? So the position for 10 we have found out. The position for 10 we have found out. If you see all the values towards left side of this 10 so are lesser, and all the elements which are on the right side of this are greater. Okay, that means 10 got its position. 10 got its position. So now this is the left sublist and this is the right sublist. Okay, so whatever the procedure we have seen now, that we call it as partitioning algorithm. Partitioning means where exactly the partition of the list is done. Since we are learning about divide and conquer approach, so where exactly the partition is happening. So now in the first phase of quick sort, so it is at 6. So again left sublist if you solve, 1 to 6 you have to take and 7 to 10 you have to take. Why we include 6 here? So as I told you, the boundary value it should be maximum. So 10 also will be included in the left sublist. And then right sublist. So separately you have to again find out the partitioning element, and based on that left and right sublist you have to go on do, and at every partitioning position the element will found its place. So finally the list will be sorted, and the sorted list we we call that as the quick sort procedure. Okay, so is this clear or you want me to repeat anything? This is partitioning procedure. Is this clear?
Can you repeat?
See here in the given list what exactly we have to do. First step, take whichever is the lowest element that we have to take as a pivot. Okay, and after that what we have to do? We have to increment I. I is nothing but at low first index. So we have to increment I until we find a value which is greater than pivot. So initially it was 10 here. So we have to find a value which is greater. So here it was 16 earlier. Okay, so we get some value which is greater than pivot for I. Similarly from this side, J we take it as high pointer. Okay, and J have to be decremented until we find a value which is less than pivot. So our pivot was 10. So we find a value which is less than 10. So once these two are satisfied, we need to check this condition, third condition. So is I less than or equal to J? If that condition is also true, so then this can happen. So swapping of A of I wherever it is there and A of J. So those two will swap. By swapping what will happen? Lower values will come at the starting of the list and higher values will move to end of the list. Okay. So this procedure will continue until I less than or equal to J. Once this is false, so what we have to do? We need to swap A of L. That means pivot. So we need to swap A of J. Okay. So now when this is happening, J we have to return. So that means 6, whatever it was written. So this is the partitioning position. Okay. So this procedure algorithm we see here. So please concentrate all of you. So here partitioning algorithm. Partitioning algorithm. What we are writing? Algorithm partition. And here what we are taking, we took an array with low and high. L is for low and H is for I. And we are just writing the comments as A is an array and L is low and H is for I. Okay. So initially what is the step we took? Whatever was A of L. So whatever was A of L, the initial value, or a of 1 also we can assign it as pivot. So pivot is equal to a, and then what we have done, whichever is low, that we assigned to I. So low index we are taking it as I, and high index we are taking as J. Okay. So here what we are increment I until we find a value which is greater than pivot. Greater than pivot. So this is the condition. This block. Since this is do while thing, so this is a false condition. Once it becomes true, it will come out. Okay, so please try to understand. So we increment I until we find a value which is greater than pivot. And this block is for decrement J until we find a value which is less than pivot. Less than pivot. If these two conditions are satisfying, what we have to do? We are swapping A of I and A of J. So that is what we were doing here. And when it can be swapped, if if low is I is greater less than or equal to J, then only we do swapping. If this is not satisfying, what we have to do? We have to. So if I is greater than J, what we have to do? We have to swap pivot and A of J. So pivot is at A of L and A of J is the value. And you have to return J. Return J is nothing but partitioning position. So partition algorithm will return a partitioning position or a position for a particular element. So in this case 10 got its position. So based on this partition position, now the list is divided into two halves. Okay. So when we solve the left and right subtrees, so then we will get the list. So this is about partitioning algorithm. Okay. So let's see the algorithm for quick sort. Okay. So algorithm quick sort array low and high. Okay. So here in this what we are doing, if low is less than high, so what exactly we are going to do? We are going to get the return value of J from what? Partition. Partition of A, L, H. So this algorithm is the one what we have learned here. Okay, so quicksort is using partition position. So once you get the partition position, so I told you in the list, once you get the partition position, so this will be the left subtree and left sublist, and this will be the right sublist. So how do we write the left sublist? So you have to call the function recursively quicksort of A, low, so yes, tell me, can anyone tell me? So this is J's position, right? I told you in the left subtree this also will be included. Why? Because this will act as the maximum value. Okay, so that's why we take it as J for the left sublist. And then quicksort of A, J plus 1, high. So this list. So since this is J, so this will become J plus 1 and this is high. Okay. So this is left sublist and this is right sublist. Okay. So every time, so when the quicksort is algorithm is called, so whatever is the list, first it will find low is less than high, the indices it should be lesser. Then it is going to call the partition algorithm. In the partition algorithm, we are going to get the partition position. So based on the partition position, we do the quick sort for left subtree and we do the quick sort for right subtree. Okay, so these are the algorithms for partition algorithm and quick sort. So quick sort is using partition algorithm. Okay, so let's see how. Yes, ma'am. Yes, someone were about to ask something. Please continue. Hello. Okay. So here the list what we took was 10 elements, right? Or say suppose the example, say the list is having 15 elements. Say. The list is having 15 elements. Okay, 14 elements and 15th element I include as infinity. Okay, so how recursively? So we are assuming partition position is median, that is middle. Okay, so here what is the mid value of 1 and 15? So this is the first case I am taking. So between 1 and 15, what is the mid value? Yes, ma'am. 8. 1 plus 15 by 2. 16 by 2. 2 8 is 16. Okay, so mid value I am writing here. So how we will call this? 1 comma 7 and here 9 comma 15. The left sublist. How recursively it is called? The quick sorts are called. So this is the mid value. So but this also will be included in the left sublist as the highest value. So what is the mid here again? 1 plus 7 plus 1, 8. 8 by 2 means 4. So 4 is the mid value. So that means here we get 1, 3 and here we get 5 and 7. And here what would be the mid value? 15
12.
plus 9. So 24, no? So
24.
So mid value will be 12. So 9 by 9 comma 11 and this will be 13 by 15. And here what will be the mid value? 2. So 1 comma 1 and this will be 3 comma 3. And what will be the mid value here? 6. So this will be 5 comma 5 and this will be 7 comma 7. And here what will be the mid? So 10, 9 comma 9 and 11 comma 11. And here what will be the mid value? 14. So here you will get 13 comma 13 and this will be 15 comma 15. Okay, so this is what the recursively, if at all the partitioning position, if we assume that if it is at the middle, so this is how we get the tree structure. So if you analyze this, so here whatever was the list, so n elements list. So in here it is partitioning into 2. So next level again it is partitioned by 2. So again it will be partitioned by 2. So till where this will continue? Until you get a 1 element. Okay, so n elements are going on dividing into 2 lists. 2 lists until where? Until it becomes 1. So this one how we can write? N by 2 power k is equal to 1. Okay, and this how we can write? N is equal to 2 power k and k is equal to log n base 2. So this is what we call the height of the tree. So whenever we are representing anything in the tree structure format, so the time complexity of that is log n. That's why we call it as log n. And for n elements, we are going on doing the partition. So here n elements we have done the partition. Okay, so here overall, so this is also just removing mid element, so one lesser. So maybe n minus 1 partitioning, n minus 2 partitioning, n minus 3 partitioning. So overall, maybe removing constant, if we say n partitioning we are going to do. So now how we can write? So log n base 2 is the height for n elements. N log n, so the time complex. Finding out the time complexity of the quick sort is n log n. Here we need n partitioning. So partition algorithm takes O of n time. Okay. And since we are representing that in the tree structure, so from this, so the log n. So for n partitioning elements and for the height of the tree log n. So this is n log n. So n log n is nothing but it is the best case when we take the partitioning position as the middle one. When we take the partitioning position as the middle one, then the time complexity. So quick sort best case is O of n log n. Okay, so let's see the quick sort worst case. Worst case means what? Say suppose if the list is in the ascending order, say 20, 30, 40, 50 and 60. So this we say I and this we say j. So increment I until you find a value greater than I, so 20, and decrement j you find a value less than that. So this is not lesser, this is not lesser, this is not lesser, so this one only. So this is the partitioning position. So in that case what will happen? Say 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So if the list is having 1, 6, so first one is sorted. Okay, so that we don't represent. So what are the remaining ones? Again 1 to 5, or we write 2 to 6. So again 2 will be sorted, and this will be 3 to 6, and this will continue so on. So what's happening here? Whatever the number of elements were there here, n. So here 1 reduced, here 2 reduced, and this will reduce until it is 1. So if you see the numerical notations as 1 plus 2 plus till n. So how do we write this series? N into n minus 1 by 2. So how much this will give? N square minus n by 2. So we write the time complexity as O of n square. We take the maximum polynomial degree. So that's why we write O of n square. The worst case is n square. So the time complexity of the quick sort ranges from O of n log n to O of n square. Okay, so when this best case will happen? If the partition position is at the middle. When this will happen? When the partition position is at the starting only. If the pivot itself is the partition position, so then we get O of n square. Okay, so this is the thing. So, and the quick sort is the quick sort we have learned about algorithm can be solved using recurrence relation to find out the time complexity. I told you in general how we get. Maybe in competitive exams and all, you can just analyze, apply that knowledge of getting the time complexity. But in the theoretical or in a descriptive answers, you need to derive this. Okay, how we get O of n log n have to be derived. Okay, so here, whenever we are seeing the list is getting divided. So the list is getting divided into half and half every time until it becomes 1. until it becomes 1. So what's happening here? The T of n, whatever was the T of n, is now getting divided into 2T of n by 2. So 2 n by 2s are there. So 2 n by 2s. Okay. So and what is the small problem when n is 1? So that will be the small problem. So for this, how do we write the recurrence relation? So T of n is equal to one if n is equal to 1, or say some constant we can say, and if n is greater than 1, so 2t n by 2 plus, and this division is done on the partitioning element. So for n elements, so we are getting one partition. Again for sublist, again partition. So that means for n elements, maximum we may get n minus 1 partition positions. So that's what we say it as n. So that we can represent it as n here. So this n is the time taken for partitioning of the list. Okay, so that's how we write the recurrence relation. So now let's solve this. So T of n is equal to, so we start with where the value is greater plus n. So directly I am writing, so value of this. So in place of n, you write it as n by 2. So 2t by n by 2 by 2 plus n, and this remains the same. So this substitution I have done here. Okay. So how do we write this? 2 square t n by 2 square plus 2n plus n. Okay, so this will continue. This will continue until, so the division till where we are doing, partitioning till where we are doing, until it becomes one element, yes or no? So when, how we can write 2 power k t of 1 plus, so how we can write that? So 2 of n into kn. So in general I am writing it as kn. So this I can write it as 3n, no? So in place of 3 I am writing kn. Okay. So here this recurrence relation, whatever we are writing, I'll just write it above. So what we got, 2 power k t of 1 plus kn. Okay. So whatever the division was happening for n elements, every time n elements are getting into 2 lists, again those lists are again divided, those lists are again divided. So this will continue until 1. So how we can represent this? N by 2 power k is equal to 1. So in this term, what is n? N is equal to 2 power k. So now we substitute this. Okay. So 2 power k is 1 and this is 1, what we can say. Okay. And then kn. K means some constant. So n we are writing. So here when we write like this, when we take, so how much it will be? So here for k we have to substitute this value. K is equal to log 2 base n. So this k is log n and this n. So when we take n common, or when we take n plus n log n, so in this the maximum polynomial component is n log n. So the time complexity we write as O of n log n. So that's how we derive with the recurrence relation for quicksort. Okay, and this is the best case. So most of the times quick sort or merge sort will be asked. Not only explaining with the example, but also you need to write the algorithms. For everything there is the algorithm. Okay, so when you understand the concepts clearly, you can remember the not by heart. You by the end of this semester, you will have more than 50 to 70 algorithms you will have. Okay, which is not possible to remember. So when you learn things logically, how exactly it is working, then it would be easy for you to remember and do the things perfectly. Okay, so these are the things about quick sort and the topic what I want to cover today.